Disaster in the desert. Hey everybody, Walty Wanderers, buckle up, strap in. We got a hard-hitting pull, no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows or sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. So, disaster in the desert. Today we're going to read between the lines and look between the cracks, do a little whistleblowing, and maybe even examine the good, the bad, and a little bit of the ugly.
No, Walty, don't examine the ugly. Only examine rainbows and sunshine.
No. Somebody's got to read between the lines and look between the ruts. And we had some ruts develop in the hard pack of the desert. We didn't think this track would break down. It did. And who benefited? Cooper Webb. Cooper Webb came to play. Cooper Webb is sneaky, right? In fact, it was pretty cool because Ricky had picked him to be his wild card finish in fantasy at like 8th place or whatever. And Cooper Webb puts him on blast from the podium because they let him know. They're like, hey, dude, what about Ricky calling you for 8? Dude, bad move. Bad look for Ricky. Ricky, you can't do that, dude. You cannot do that. I mean, it's one thing to put him on your fantasy picks, but you cannot announce that to somebody like Cooper Webb. You never count Cooper Webb out. And he's showing us what he's shown us throughout his whole career. He's never comes out and just lights the world on fire a bit. He just sticks around, and he methodically just dispatches riders along the way. And he's got more mental game than any other rider out there. So it's going to get interesting moving forward as this thing goes back east. Cooper Webb could, in fact, make this thing super interesting. But at the moment, it would appear it's going to come down to a rematch between the heavy hitters of Sexton and Tomac. Sexton's got the red plate back. Tomac's right there. He won convincingly in the third main. This thing is shaping up great. Now, the disaster clearly is Jett Lawrence. And it sucks to see the Wonder Boy go out like that. I was a little concerned when they interviewed him prior in one of the other first or second races, and he came out of his helmet sweating. This guy never sweats. He's always made it look so easy. He's a gazelle, an alien on the bike. He was sweating. The bike looks upset as he's riding it. He looks like he doesn't trust the bike, and it's all starting to show. So first you have Smokin' Joe Shimoda looking good with his, A1 win to disaster. Honda's got to be bummed about that. But then it goes from bad to worse. You have the whole Lucas Myrtle, power agent gets slammed with all these allegations and just ousted by the Lawrence brothers. And it's kind of funny because that's the way it's almost come back to bite Lucas Myrtle in one sense, because he packaged these two up as brothers. But first it was Hunter and there was Jetson, right? And then all of a sudden they're packaged up and then they both started wearing Red Bull, the whole thing. If you want one rider, you're taking them both. He strategically packaged that thing up. He's the man behind the donuts. He's the man behind the VIP fan experience, all pay-to-play stuff. And I don't know if you noticed it, but I did. When Jetson came out of the Alpine Star medical unit, Jacob Hayes, who was basically Lucas Myrtle's his assistant, his intern, he was bringing him up, ex-rider, giving him, learning, teaching him how to become an agent and still be part of the sport. A very lucrative position. And as rumor would have it, at least Lucas Myrtle's side of the story is that he got backstabbed by Jacob Hayes. Everything's rainbows and sunshine, Myrtle, not knowing that they were about to throw him right under the bus. And I saw Jacob Hayes. If you saw him, he rewatch it. When Jetson comes out of the medical unit, Jacob Hayes is standing back there like he doesn't know what to do, what to think, because he went from like, this is awesome, I'm now the Wonder Boy's power agent, I've basically it, I'm the guy, to what now? So, and Lucas Myrtle, he probably secretly, you'd have to imagine, he's breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief, or like, I don't know, some secret happiness, saying, you guys burned me and this is what happened. Karma flowed on you. But really, this is kind of hurting Lucas Myrtle in a big way, because now these guys are going to want their money back even more. So if they think Lucas Myrtle owes them money, they're really going to come after him now because there's a good chance. Now, we don't know the extent of Jetson's injury, but clearly, and see, that's why you always want, I warned you about this, Jetson. Listen, dude, I'm a big fan. I'm cheering for you. I hope you're not hurt. I don't want to see these other guys win without the best riders on the track. We need you out there. Even if you go out and smoke everybody and win it all, I'd rather have that happen than you not be there and it would be like this, I don't know, win without the best rider out there. Because I still think Jetson's the biggest talent we have. I just think the noise that was going around, the distractions, it all got to him, right? It all started to accumulate last year when he got in the Anderson incident, and it snowballed from there. And then with this new Lucas Myrtle debacle, and then now all of a sudden, there's a possible knee injury in the cards. I mean, this is big. This is really big. There's a good chance, and that's what I was about to say. That's why you never want to say I'm coming after McGrath's records. I need to set goals, and that's why it's totally no problem to set goals, and that's what gets you up in the morning is to go after the record books, and McGrath specifically, you want to dethrone the king is basically what we heard. You didn't say that, but that's what we heard. We heard you say, you want to dethrone the king. And we all love the king because he's like the one guy that we can still, say back in the day when the sport was at its raddest. This was evidence of that. So I don't know. There's a lot to unpackage here. Triumph gets their first win. So these other guys, the Style Robinsons, the Jalik Swolls, the Austin Faulkners, they cannot blame the bike because a lot of times you want to blame the bike and you might not do it, from the microphone in interviews. You don't want to blow apart your team, although sometimes people will, in a roundabout way, do that. Like, we're still working on settings, we're still not getting comfortable, blah, blah, blah. Jordan Smith just proved that bike can win. So all these other riders you better go out. If you do not pull off podiums, good finishes, wins, whatever, you cannot blame the bike. And of course, and listen, you can't really fault Ricky the GOAT. RC, the greatest of all time, from the broadcast booth saying, I'm so proud to be part of the development of that bike. And if I was a big part of the bike and it was me, I'm the one that they're having success. Like, that's what I hear when Ricky takes the opportunity to praise himself as being part of the program. Now, you, me, we'd probably do the same thing. Boom. Personally, I just say, dude, super pumped. Part of that program. This is massive for that team, and it's massive for me. It's an honor to be part of it. That's it. No, I had a big hand in the development. Even if you did, which you probably did, you don't need to say that because right now you're under scrutiny too, Ricky, because even, it's kind of funny how when Ricky's around, he doesn't want any Bubbas, he doesn't want any Emmigs, he doesn't want any other riders in the booth with him. He only wants Weege, like a journalist or a broadcaster or, whatever. He doesn't like to have other riders because as great as Ricky is, we know he's not the best in the booth. So some of these other guys, like even Daniel Blair, could be better announcers than they are racers because nobody can compete with the GOAT, but they can compete with them when it comes to their broadcasting. Now, personally, I think I like having Ricky there. He's there, it's one of these things, just like everybody else, you go through your proper hazing period and then we accept you. We're accepting you, Ricky. But the reality is we'll continue to keep you under the microscope. And I'm sure you care, but you're laughing all the way to the bank. So I'm sure you don't care a whole lot. But at some point, I'm sure your ego clearly gets involved. But we've got some big stuff, Juju Bamare. Juju Bamare is your new name, brother. Whew, that was a bummer, dude. That was such a bummer. 2 massive starts, and you tipped it over. Now, it was clean up on aisle 5 for Juju, and he did a phenomenal job. He's still got the red plate. He's still in a great position. And, Hayden Deegan, a little bit, still that question mark. We didn't get the dominance that we thought we'd get. In fact, I thought, and probably a lot of you did as well, that this Triple Crown event would maybe play right into Hayden's hand. The big star over at Star Racing, I know most of you are thinking Cole Davies, which is, I like Cole Davies. He reminds me almost like of a young Chad Reed in a way, just as his demeanor even kind of looks like him with the accent. Almost reminds, but really Mosiman came out of nowhere and really ran up front, led some laps, had a decent finish. I mean, and this guy's got more rust on him than probably any other rider out there. He's got a lot of natural talent. Now, can he get rid of that injury bug? A lot of people just have a predisposition to somehow finding the dirt and getting hurt. And I think, Mosiman, that's been his MO. But hey, he can break that. And I think that was a really great to see him. I'm actually always cheering for the underdog and the veteran to come back and be able to make some noise. I don't know if we can expect to see him win any races, but it wouldn't surprise me. He's quietly kind of racing himself back into race pace. Now, without further ado, we got to get to, Kickstart Kenny. Kickstart Kenny is now, he was bummed. You could tell he was bummed because he wanted to leave with the red plate. But Kickstart Kenny fell right back into, he had a race win. He found the podium. It was a great Kickstart. Suzuki's got to be pumped after their other two riders, Colton and the Chiz. You got lappers, and they're not even really part of the same team, even though you house them under the same truck. It's really Kenny's world on Kenny Island. I doubt he has any interaction with any of the Twisted Tea part of the deal of these other riders, other than maybe if they're friendly at some level. But the reality is this: Kickstart Kenny looked a little bit bummed. He didn't want to lose that red plate. I think he felt like he left one on the table because this was a good track for Kenny. This was the type of track that Kenny needs. Now, we can get some other tracks when stuff gets too rutted up, or the whoops turn into jumpers, and then you got to deal with the psychological warfare of Cooper Webb to get in your head. A lot of things. So I think Kickstart Kenny was a little bummed and felt like he left one on the table out there. But in reality, I'm pretty pumped to see Kickstart still in the conversation, still doing great. Lost the red plate, but I don't think Kickstart can compete with Chase Sexton and or Beast Mode. Beast Mode is looking great. Beast Mode, I think, is the guy to beat. If I was to put my money on anybody to go Beast Mode, I really think it's going to come down to Chase and Beast Mode in the end. And I'm a little concerned for Beast in terms of Chase. I think Chase maybe could take it to him a little further or a little better or a little harder than he did in the past seasons when he was in a battle with Eli. I think this time he's probably going to make Eli work pretty hard for it, but I think Eli's up to the challenge, and I think he actually welcomes it. And final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a moto guy that wants to see you not only win on the track, off the track. Understand the waters you're swimming in now. They're shark infested. Arizona, welcome to the swimming pool. Delivered one of the better races of the year. Triple crowns are great. It's really when we have to see who's got it in him to be able to handle that type of pressure and those type of nerves, not only once, not only twice, but 3 times in one night. That is mentally taxing. Jett, Lawrence, Honda. Huge dark cloud over your camp right now. That's how quick the tides can change in moto. I've been around this thing a long time. You can go from hero to zero virtually overnight. But in the meantime, Walty will be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way. Because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to follow me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Don't go over the bars. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.